Been vaping on this starter kit for the past 2 weeks, and all I gotta say is I'm liking her a lot. And this is the new Aspire EVO75 kit. Comes with the new EVO Atlantis tank, and it comes with this new NX75 box mod. The NX75 box mod is a single 18650 75 watt device, and the new sub-ohm tank, it's a 2 mil tank, that's right. Comes with 2 coil heads, 2 Clapton coil heads, a 0.4 and a 0.5. And I'm gonna vape on it right now. I've got the 0.4 ohm in there, and I'm vaping her at, what am I vaping her at? 36.5 watts, okay? Look at her go, boys and girls. Look at her go, and the flavor I get off the 0.4 is phenomenal. No break-in, no break-in. Oh, well, we'll get into the pros in a little bit. The 0.5, same thing. The flavor's not quite as good as the 0.4. It's not as restrictive. You'll see this in the close-ups. But you know what? I'm going to take one more hit, and we're going to dive down. I'm going to show you this thing up close and personal. We'll come back, talk about the pros and the cons for this bad boy, and then I'll let you know if I lost this thing today when I go out tomorrow and buy one. Alrighty, boys and girls, so here's the packaging for this Aspire EVO75 kit. Top pops off, and the first thing you guys are going to see is this NX75 mod in the Atlantis Evo tank. Underneath that, they include this warranty card, and they also include this user manual. And at the base of this box, they include an extra coil head, a USB cable, and an extra glass tank. Alrighty, so check it out. Here's a close-up view of this Atlantis Evo tank. Now, a few specs for you. She's primarily made of stainless steel. She comes pre-installed with this glass Pyrex tank. She holds 2 mils of juice. She's 22 millimeters in width, and she's about 40 millimeters in height. She's got this quad adjustable airflow down here. Here's the adjustable airflow ring. It does spin into place, but it's got to because it's got slots all over it, so it can't really stop one direction or the other, and I get that. But yeah, you grab a hold of it, you twist it, you turn it. Whatever you adjust on this side is going to be the exact same all across the board. Down here at the base, you get your 510 threads, which are smooth, man. If you got a gold-plated, non-adjustable 510 pin, I do not recommend you use this on your hybrid top cab devices. Don't do it. At the base, it says Atlantis Evo. Designed and manufactured by E-Gate. At the top, you got this top cap sleeve, this silicone sleeve, rubber sleeve, and it just goes on just like that. And what it does, it makes it easier to grip this thing. You got this top cap, this top hat like top cap. You pull it off, that's how it works. Pull it off. Yeah, top hat. Pops back on there, and if you don't like this drip tip, you can always use your standard 510 drip tips. Pop that into there right there. It is compatible. It will look a little wonky because you got this O-ring right here, but it is what it is. You got that option at least. But you got this rubber sleeve, right? This top cap sleeve. And what that does is it allows you to grip it and twist it. So that pops off, and you got your top fill, and you just fill it in between the coil head and the inside of the tank. And yes, just like the Cleto, the coil head screws into the top cap. So here's the base of the top cap. And I will say this, threads, man, oh my gosh. Threads all over this device are smooth, smooth, smooth. Tank comes out like so, O-ring, seals it in. Again, there's your tank. Coil head, unscrews from the base. Definitely some of the smoothest threads that I've come across. Aspire, you guys are kicking ass and taking names when it comes to machine quality, because this is fantastic. It's clean, no machine oil, no burrs, no scratches. It's got a great sheen to it all across the board. So here's one of the coil heads you receive. It's a 0.4 ohm recommended vape, 40 to 50 watts. You got your feed holes, 1, 2, 3, and then 4 organic cotton in there. Vertical coil. You get great airflow with this. Got that screen up top for spitback protection. This is a Clapton coil. Kanthal Clapton. So here's the other Clapton coil head, and this is a 0.5 ohm recommended vape, 35 to 40 watts. Got your 4 feed holes, organic cotton, and this is a much smaller hole, noticeably smaller. Check that out, boys and girls, big difference. Even though this sucker's much smaller than this, you can still do your lung hits, easy lung hits. I actually get better flavor off this coil head than I do this one, and I get more vapor off this than I do this. But like I said, both of them use Clapton coils. Tank goes on, fill her up, holds 2 mils of juice like I mentioned. Adjust your airflow to your liking, and we're rocking and rolling. And if I didn't show you guys before, with this Delaware drip tip, you have a nice wide bore. Alrighty, so here's the NX75 mod. Now a few specs for you. She's made of die-cast zinc alloy. She's 75mm by 35mm by 22mm. At the top, she's got stainless steel threads, and she's got a gold-plated spring-loaded 510 pin. On one side, it says NX75. You got your USB port for charging and upgradable firmware. On the other side, it says Aspire. And then on the base, you got a total of 8 vent holes. On the front panel, you got your fire button, your temperature button, your wattage button, your wattage up, wattage down buttons, and your menu screen. Fire button nice and comfortable. And these buttons right here, nice and clicky and comfortable as well. And now onto the magnetic battery door, and I'll tell you what, I am a big fan of it. Oh yeah, where is it? Oh rip, it's right here. And check it out, you just pull it out like so. Oh yeah, and look at it, look how clean it is. All across the board, you got magnets over here, you got magnets in here, you got your gold-plated connections down here, and you got this like little catch cup. Look at this, catch cup city, baby. But yeah, nice and clean. Negative up here, positive down here. So that just slides in here just like that. Boom, like I said, catch cup. Not going anywhere. Again, here's the inside of that battery tray. And how it works is, you just slide it in. Screw the Atlantis Evo on there. 5 clicks of the fire button turns the menu screen on. 5 clicks locks it. And then once you've locked it, you gotta hold it down to turn her off. And she's off. 5 clicks back on. First thing you're going to see is the wattage. Oh, it says sick as tits. That's right, I customized it. You can say whatever you want to say on the menu screen, which is cool. I'll show you how to do it. You got the wattage 43 watts. You got the resistance, the battery gauge. But yeah, in wattage mode, you can adjust this sucker between 1 watt and 75 watt. We're going to go ahead and go up. And it does round robin. That's another cool feature. Or you can adjust in 0.1 increments too if you want, but I like to hold her down. Hit it again, 1 watt, and it goes right back up. So right now we're in the wattage button, we're in wattage mode. If I hit the wattage button again, it's gonna take me to voltage and I can adjust that. .1 increments. And it does round robin. Hit the wattage button again. Takes me to bypass. That's right, bypass / mechanical mod. And that's the voltage of my battery, 3.83 right now. Hit the wattage button again, and it takes me to C1, C2, and then C3. And C1, C2, and D3 are power curves. That's another really cool feature, which means if I hold down the wattage button, it takes me in and I can adjust it. So look at this. At 0 seconds, it's going to fire it up to 25 watts. Hit the T button, takes me up to 0.05. So it jumps from 25 to 70 watts, down to 35 watts, back up to 40, up to 45, down to 35, 25, and it goes on for 10 seconds. And you can go in and you can customize it. You can adjust the ramp up and ramp down for this. That's the power curve. And that's for C1, C2, and C3. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my own curve just to give you an example to show you. So in order to scroll down to 0 seconds, you got to hit the W button. Takes me down. But let's just start at 25 watts. Let's keep it at 25 watts. Hit the T button, takes us up to 0.05. I'm taking that down. You use these buttons right here. So let's say 35 watts. Hit the T again, takes us up to 1 second. 40 watts. T again. 50. Hit the T again. T again. Let's jump it back down to 45. Okay, and then 40. So we're going to take a 3-second hit. That's what I usually do. That's my average, about 3 seconds. So let's go back down. Down to 0. 0 seconds, that's where we start. 25 watts, up to 35 watts, up to 40 watts, up to 50 watts, 52.5, back down to 45, and back down to 40. Here we go, hit the fire button, and you'll be able to see this chart right here. 3, 2, 1. See it dive back down. Now it could go for 10 seconds. And like I said, my average draw is about 3 seconds. But that's really cool how you can set the power curve like that. So in order to get into temperature mode, all you gotta do is hit the T button and boom, and it's gonna ask me, is this a new atomizer? And from there you can adjust it, 2 to 600 degrees Fahrenheit or 100 and 315 degrees Celsius. And it does round robin, back and forth. Down into Celsius. Back into Fahrenheit. And it's the same for nickel. And if you hit the T button, it goes to titanium. It's the same for stainless steel. It's the same for all of them. M1, M2, M3. That's your TCR. So you have a TCR option. Back to nickel. So let's say you've adjusted your temperature. Let's say we're in nickel mode. And we want to go ahead and adjust the wattage and temperature mode. You can do that. All you got to do is hold down the T and the wattage up. And it takes us in there. Nickel, titanium, stainless steel, M1, M2, M3. So we're in nickel, right? Nickel's highlighted. We can adjust the wattage, the power. In order to do that, you hit the wattage down or wattage up. Or we can go over to titanium, do the same thing. Stainless steel, do the same thing. Or we can go into M1, which is our own customized setting for the wire that we're using. Adjust the wattage we want. And then when we're done with that, we can go down to TCR. Hit the W. We can adjust that whichever way we want. When we're done with that, we can scroll over to M2 and adjust that if we want for another wire. M3, adjust that for another wire. Hold the T button, the wattage up button down at the same time to get out of that. Now if we hold the wattage and the wattage down button down at the same time, it takes us to a passcode. And what this passcode does is it allows me to lock it and unlock this device. Boom, she's locked. That's my code, 123. Don't tell anybody. So it's locked, right? To get back in and unlock it, hold the W button and the wattage down button down at the same time. Boom, I'm back in. It's unlocked. When you hold the T button and the wattage down button down at the same time, you can go in and adjust what you want to say. Like I said, sick as tits. That's pretty cool. When you're done doing that, setting it, hold the T button, the wattage down button down at the same time, and we're back in the mini screen, or temperature mode at least. If we hold the W button, the wattage up button down at the same time, it locks the function buttons. Can't adjust anything, but you can fire it. So to go ahead and unlock it, hold down the W button, the wattage up button down at the same time, and boom, she's back unlocked. Now to run this thing in stealth mode, what you gotta do is hit the fire button 3 times. Take it back to normal mode, hit the fire button 3 times. Also, this sucker right here, this kit comes in different color options. You can choose black like you guys see, stainless steel, or white. And you know what? I've also seen a red kit around, and I've also seen a stainless steel and a black kit. So yeah, this is what the 22mm Atlantis Evo looks like on this mod. So that right there, ladies and gents, is a close-up view of this Aspire EVO75 kit. Let's go ahead and take her back to FaceTime. First things first, let's talk the pros for this tank. The coil heads, the 0.4, the 0.5, you can't go wrong with any of them. I mean, they're fantastic. No break-in, the flavor's great, the vapor's great. With the 0.4, you get better flavor. You get tighter airflow, but you get better flavor. With the 0.5, you get more airflow, you get more vapor. But with this 0.4, I mean, I showed you at the beginning. I'm going to show you again. I'll take her all the way up to 45 watts. With the 0.47, she's reading 0.47 ohms, and I'm going to show you how she can chuckify it, okay? And the airflow, I say tighter, you get a nice restrictive lung hit, but it's a comfortable restrictive lung hit. Comfortable. I mean, it's not too tight, it's not too loose. For me, it's right in the middle, and it is just balls to the wall flavor for a sub-ohm tank, for a coil head that uses organic cotton. Second pro, like you guys saw in the close-ups, it's got that quad adjustable airflow. You get plenty of airflow, man, and it's smooth all across the board. 3, love how compact this tank is. Even though it holds 2 mils of juice, 2 mils for me, it's not that bad. Nice, compact 22mm tank. Threads on the tank are buttery smooth, man. Machine oil, none. I mean, 1 rinse, 1 wash, I was good to go. No burrs, no scratches, and I'm gonna go back to those threads. Threads are legit, man. They're like beefier. They're smoother than all other tanks that I've used. It reminds me of the Cleto. If you've had the Cleto, you know the quality of the threads. It's just, oh man. So the only cons I found for this tank: 1, this thing needs a temperature coil head, stainless steel, titanium, nickel. I prefer stainless steel, but include it because people are gonna want to use temperature mode on this mod. What if people buy this just to use in temperature mode? There's no temperature coil head. That's my whole point. Gotta include it. And then the second con is this thing only holds 2 mils of juice, and that's gonna be subjective. Now on to the NX75 mod. The pros for this NX75 mod. The first thing I noticed, the fit, finish, feel. It just feels of good quality. It feels solid. It's got a nice heftiness to it, and the battery door, that's another thing. Right when I picked it out of the box, I was like, oh, what is this? This is a little bit different. I pulled it out. I was like, oh, it's got a little catch cup. It's got these magnets, these strong magnets. It's got this little spring connection down here. You just slide it in and boom. I really like the battery door. It's like every other battery door, but with a different twist, and you gotta appreciate that. And also the function buttons, you gotta love the W and the T. I mean, it just makes it so much easier to adjust from wattage to temperature mode. Most other devices, you hit the fire button 5 times and then 3, and then back and forth and back and forth to get, you know, from switch to wattage and temperature. You don't have to do that with this one. You just hit W for wattage, T for temperature, and then you adjust, and that's it. The fire button is nice. It's not like a clicky, but it's not springy. It's kind of like right in the middle. You hear that? It's comfortable. Wattage up, wattage down buttons are nice and clicky as well. The mini system that goes back to hitting the W and the T for wattage and temperature. It's easy to navigate, and you've got a power curve, and the power curve is bitchin', man. I love how you can adjust the ramp up, you can adjust for the ramp down, you can adjust to be roller coaster. You can really customize your own vape within the mod, and that's a big plus. Again, like you guys saw in the close-ups, you got temperature mode, you got wattage mode. In temperature mode, it supports nickel, titanium, stainless steel. You got a TCR mode. It's got a mechanical / bypass mode for all you mechanical mod lovers. And in wattage mode, you can vapor down to 0.1. In temperature mode, you can vapor all the way down to 0.1 as well. Also, as you guys saw, it's got this USB port on the side of the mod for charging and upgradable firmware. That's right, it's got upgradable firmware. Really like how it's got that code lock. You could go in and set your own security type code so no one can enter your mod. That's freaking cool. And the fact that you could go in and customize what you want the screen to say, like mine says, sick ass tits. Gotta love it. You gotta love how it's got automatic flip screen, right? That's freaking cool. Every tank RDA delivery system that I own screws down onto this mod, sits flush, makes a connection, is compatible. So the only major con that I found for this NX75 mod is the button rattle. That's pretty bad. Aspire, you guys have got to fix it. And there's another subjective con, that's the fact that this is a single 18650 mod, and it vapes up to 75 watts. So if you're vaping up to 50, 60, 75 watts, or chain vaping, you're going to go through battery life pretty darn fast. Again, it's a subjective con, but it's one that's got to be mentioned. So the online shop that sent this starter kit to me to review for you guys is selling it for between 68 and 70 bucks, and I'll post a link down in the description to where you can find it. Now on to the big question, the big answer of the day. Hey Rip, if you'd lost this thing today, would you go out tomorrow and buy one? And the answer is duh. I've been enjoying this so much. Like I said, there's only like freaking 3 or 4 cons that I found for this. Everything else is a bunch of pros. Hell yes, it's a freaking kick a vape. Kick a vape? Kick-ass vape, that's what I mean. This is Rip Trippers, and remember, smoking is dead, vaping is the future, and the future is now.